It's one of the holidays that is celebrated all year in barbecue lore, and it is called Memorial Day. This is the Y'all Show. Welcome back. I'm John Rawl, and we're here to talk about barbecuing Memorial Day 2020 with our barbecue barrister, Matt Heerman, on the show that covers everything Southern. And Barbecue Barrister is back with us. How are you doing, Barbecue Barrister?
Man, I'm doing great, John. I cannot complain. How about yourself?
I'm good. This is kind of a big week for you. We're going to go through some of the Barbecue Barrister's Memorial Day grilling tips. That's one thing that we can do even in the midst of a pandemic. We can still grill.
Yeah, Memorial Day is one of those big grilling days. Memorial Day, 4th of July. I mean, these are some of the prime time grill and barbecue moments in the year for sure.
And I know we talk about grilling a lot, but when you look on the calendar, I know Matt Heermans, you've got to look at that day a little extra special because it is a big event in the Heermans manner.
Well, um, I guess so. I
Oh,
mean,
come
I've
on now. Come on. You're telling me you're just going to take the week off and day off here, Memorial Day, and no grilling? Come on.
no, I didn't say that. What I was gonna say is I try to make every weekend a
Ah,
barbecue or grilling weekend. So it's kind of like Christmas. If you have Christmas every weekend, Christmas Day is not that exciting, right? So no, definitely be doing something. I don't know what I'm going to do just yet, but I can guarantee you subtle, uh, the subtle notes of hickory wood will be, coming up from my backyard for sure.
Matt Heermans, who, again, makes all of the rest of us who don't grill every single weekend, you make us look pretty bad, sir. I hope that makes you feel better. Do you feel like a bigger
Um,
man because of that?
Can't get much bigger, right? Uh,
you, you
no,
are kind of a
I
big
am.
guy.
What I'm trying to do is inspire people to fire up the grill more. So, if I've inspired anybody to get the charcoal rolling out there, then I guess I feel pretty good about that. I'd
Job
say
well
that.
done. Job well
Yeah,
done if
we'll
you've
do
done
it.
that. Now, again, some of us don't grill every single weekend. Shame on us for not doing that. You do it. So I've got to ask you, since we do have this big event. Now, of course, we all know the real reason for Memorial Day, the sacrifice of our brave heroes of today and yesteryear that have died in service to our country. We don't want to ever diminish that. But it's also a day, frankly, that's known for grilling. And it's known for essentially kind of an unofficial beginning of summer. And in the spirit of the kickoff to summer, Matt Heermans, please at least give me a little bit of what you've done in years past, since you're kind of, and we'll blame the coronavirus on this. You're kind of, it sounds like, not really planning big time for this upcoming Memorial Day. You've been trapped at home, so yeah, I understand why you grill every weekend. But at least take me back to, gosh, way back to 2019 and some of the ideas that might pop in your head of what you did for Memorial Day last year.
Yeah. So you're definitely right that it's yeah, for sure that there's always an underlying meaning behind these holidays for sure. Memorial Day is certainly a meaningful one for people. And as far as the kickoff to summer, I kind of tend to think that, particularly throughout the South. I mean, the end of May is, I mean, it's essentially summertime at this point. To be honest with you, it's certainly the chill has left the air for the most part. Put it that way. So I like that as well. As far as this year's a little different. This is almost one you can kind of chalk up to. It never happened before in my life, so yeah, we won't be having a bunch of people over getting together or anything like that, just because of the precautions still in place. But what I've done in the past, I kind of feel like Memorial Day is, we've talked about in the past, the difference between grilling and barbecue, very different things. Um, I think Memorial Day weekend is kind of a grilling type holiday. You get people around. A lot of people go to the park. You have folks in your backyard. Maybe you're breaking in the pool since it is kind of summertime now. If you got a pool in your backyard, maybe you got people splashing around in there. Um, it's a good time to grill burgers, hot dogs, sausages, bratwurst, stuff like that. I tend to think maybe even some chicken, maybe chicken thighs, things that are hot and fast grilling. I tend to think you want to grill. It just seems like one of those holidays where you want to get outside, you want to do some other things, and people want to eat. Sometimes if you splash around the pool, you're playing around the yard, you may want a burger here, you may want a hot dog a little bit later. Maybe not a 12-hour pulled pork smoke, although that would be awesome as well. I tend to think of it as a grilling holiday, but that could be just my perspective.
And you mentioned one of the favorite beginnings of summertime is when Matt Heermans the pool gets opened up. And so, with that in mind, I don't know about you, but when I was a little one, we were always told, you don't go jump in the pool until you've let your food settle for 45 minutes or so. So, I want to ask our barbecue barrister, Matt Heermans, what are some of the things we don't need to be loading up on before we go take the cannonball right into the pool? In the deep end, by the way.
Yeah, I wish I was a doctor. I wish I could comment on that. I'm not sure. Right, we're always told about the deadly cramp, right? The deadly cramp. You do not want to get a cramp. You'll end up at the bottom of that pool like a cinder block. I never experienced that, and I can't say that I really followed that rule growing up. I used to love to break that rule, unfortunately, but I never had the dreaded cramp. So, but again, not a doctor, not going to weigh in on that. That could be, that could be real. But yeah, I think that's kind of what I was saying earlier about getting the grill fired up, whether it's charcoal or gas, stuff like chicken, stuff like hot dogs, hamburgers. You don't necessarily want to sit down. If we're going to go back to the cramp, let's just say for sake of argument, the cramp is real, okay? What you may not want to do is sit down and put down an entire rack of ribs and then go splash around in the pool, especially if you're just getting back in the zone for the year. You may not want to sit down and power through a pound of pulled pork barbecue on a bun with sauce dripping all down your face and getting in the pool. You may want something a little smaller. You may want to spread it out throughout the day. You may want a little hot dog. You may want a little bit of chicken. You may want a sausage here and there. Just kind of snack around throughout the day when you're getting in and out of the pool. So, I think if we're gonna give due respect to the lessons taught us growing up, I would say smaller meals, a little snack here and there is good, especially if you're going to run around, splash around the pool. I'll tell you what, I don't want to do a whole lot of anything after powering through a big plate of barbecue, and I love barbecue, but you probably can't get me out of the chair after that. So if you want to stay active, maybe ribs, maybe pulled pork, maybe this stuff's a little heavy for you getting your activity going the first weekend of summer, right?
The first weekend of summer, unofficially, if you follow the
Unofficially.
calendar, you know that officially it's still spring, but it's sure starting to feel a lot like summertime. And as again, Memorial Day represents letting the pool be open for the first time. In many cases, it represents getting your shorts on and more if you haven't done that yet. And we've covered this in detail in recent weeks here on the Y'all Show, but just in case somebody missed out on the fun of the Y'all Show, Matt Heermans, real quick, if you don't mind, it also this weekend might represent the opening of the grill. So if you haven't touched that grill since summer 2019, what's some of the basic things that the barrister of Bodacious Barbecue wants to make sure we all are aware of?
This is gonna sound weird, John, but
Let it rip.
spiders,
Are you going to tell me just let it rip? Don't worry about it.
spiders.
Spiders.
Yeah, and I am not. This is not arachnophobia. This is not somebody who's deathly afraid of these eight-legged creatures. But if you've had a grill, gas grill or charcoal, and it's been put up for the winter, maybe you've got a cover on it. If you're trying to, extend the life or at least the aesthetic beauty of your appliance there, spiders will get in this thing. Spiders will make webs. Spiders will get all over your grates. They'll get all over. If you got a propane grill, the spiders will get up and they'll make webs up in the little undercarriage for your little propane gas lighter and adjuster. I would just say check out spiders. You don't want the flavor of a spider web. You don't want the taste of a spider. At least get the cobwebs out of the grill. And they do love, for whatever reason, spiders love to get in there with the grates and the stuff that you've got and the inner workings of particularly your gas grill and just web that thing to death. So I would tell everybody to go ahead and just check in there. No big deal. Just get it out of there. Get your little fly trapping buddy out of your grill before you fire it up, because man, I've seen some infestations over the winter and the spring. I know it's cozy in there. I guess it's all nice, cool, and dark, and it's a great place for it. So before you get rolling, check for spiders and webs.
Yeah. Brown recluse evidently doesn't go well with your hamburgers, it sounds like, coming from our barbecue.
You don't mess with that at all. No.
Hey, you already told us, Matt Heermans, that you're not a doctor earlier in the show. I know you're not I know you are a dead animal expert. We know that. That's why you're the barrister. But from a living animal perspective, I'm not so sure you're an expert on that. I want to ask you if you were a little bit of an expert on living animals. In your experience, opening up a grill, maybe for the first time since last summer, and you encounter spiders, if you just had to take a guesstimate here, how many spider webs and / living spiders are we talking about? Are spiders very territorial and they only essentially have one spider per grill, or is there going to be a whole colony of spiders?
Well, I was trying to think during this thing. There's a word for people who are insect experts. Can't think of the name. But
pest control professionals.
That's one. I'll say horticulture, but that's plants. Anyway, I'm going to let that go. But I don't know the nesting habits of spiders. I will say that I have seen some pretty intense spider webs in my grills that are impressive. So if one spider, I do think they have their own little territory though, and I do think a lot of these webs are intricate traps for flies and other little insects like that, which is fine. Shoot, you live in a place that's humid and sticky, you got flies, and flies love barbecue, and all the spiders the better, right? But not in the grill. I think they have their own little territory, and I think they kind of stake their claim.
Okay.
And,
that's actually helpful.
To work.
If they really are kind of territorial, which, you and I are also territorial when it comes to eating our barbecue and our meat.
Yeah.
We're all about it. Arr, arr. That's good.
We'll bite. Yeah.
We're like dogs now. We're not going to let you come sniff around our food, but it's good to know maybe that you don't have 5,000 spiders in your grill. You might have one or two pretty big ones. You got to.
No. I think I think one can do a heck of a lot of work over several months. I think they can definitely get the job done, even if there's just one of them in there.
Hey, if you would like to contact us here on the Y'all Show and ask the Barbecue Barrister a question or two or three or four, maybe it's about spiders, maybe it's about his tips to making great Memorial Day grub, hey, you can reach out to us. The number, it's right there, 803-816-1170. That's the way you do it. You just contact us here at the Y'all Show. And I know this is not very good television. I don't know how else to pull this thing up, but I did have somebody send me just a moment ago something that I want to share, and this is not going to be the best way to do it. Barrister, hopefully you can see that, and I'm going to show our audience here on today's Y'all Show a little closer.
Quite.
Okay, I'll show it in just a second. It's a grill, but it's a grill that maybe you've not quite seen before, and I'm going to stick it over here for you to see virtually here.
Can't quite pick it up, John. You'll have to describe it to me.
Okay. Well, when you go to your happy place one day, that would be heaven. Hopefully you're going to be put in a casket. And somebody out there in the South has come up with a casket that's out in the yard, and instead of opening up the casket and seeing a dead body, it's a grill. It's an actual working grill. Have you ever seen or heard of anything like that?
I thought, oh my goodness. I thought you were going to say somebody chose to enter their eternal repose in a grill-shaped casket.
No.
Now I see it. Okay, so I thought that was cool, and now I'm a little creeped out because I'm trying to I'm not sure I'm interested in eating anything coming out of that. I'm just going to say that is that may be a step beyond. The other way around, I was thinking to myself, there are worse ways to kind of slip off into the hereafter than going into a smoker. a casket that looks like a smoker. I've never seen a smoker that looks like a casket, and I have no idea the thought process that went in there. Um, I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna have to take the. I'm just gonna have to take the fifth on
Well,
that.
I didn't
I don't
tell
know.
you this is one of those darn GIFs that we see way too many of in today's world. And the caption above this GIF says, "It's official. I have seen all there is to see." And somebody, and it might have been our barbecue barrister, sure took a lot of time to create this casket turned barbecue grill. You know, it's a point of conversation. It's, I mean,
Man,
it's got a lot of
it
room
is.
to grill on if you want to kind of convert a
People,
casket into that.
you know what they're saying? People are dying to eat that barbecue.
He's got jokes. He's got jokes. Our barbecue barrister here on
The,
today's Y'all Show. Memorial Day edition. So we've already talked about go out there, make sure you're really careful when you open your grill up. Maybe it's your first time since last spring or last summer even, and you're got to be careful of spiders, creepy crawlers all out in your grill perhaps. And just go ahead and assume you're going to see at least one. So go ahead and be prepared for that. What else do we need to do to get it quickly ready? I know we don't want to spend all weekend getting our grill ready. What else do we need to do besides
well,
spider
you know,
prevention?
as long as you've figured out you don't have a zoo in there. I mean, spiders are that's one, but you got possums and squirrels. Just make sure there's nothing else in there that's going to start squealing when you turn the heat on. That's all. But uh, you don't have to, like we've talked about before, cleaning a grill is very different than cleaning, some type of dish that you would run through your dishwasher. You don't have to take the parts of your grill and use cleaner on them and scrub them down. In fact, you don't really want to do that because every cleaner you use is going to have chemicals in it, and then you put heat to chemical, and you have vapors, and you have smells, and you have scents and tastes you don't want any part of. So cleaning a grill is very different than cleaning anything else. All you really want to do is scrape off the buildup. Okay, so if you've got little V-shaped bars in your gas grill, of course, you have grates. If you got some buildup on the top, sides, bottom, there's usually a drip pan underneath the grates where grease and things will build up. You get these like stalactites of fat and stuff like that. You don't need to mess with that a whole heck of a lot, but before you break your grill out for the summer, the best time to do it is to get in there and just scrape it out. Get you a grill brush, a little brass brush, or something with a scraper end of it. Could even be, a spatula is what I've used. But just make sure it's scraped off. Scrape off your grates. Get out the extra grease underneath. A lot of people don't know. People have fires, right? I mean, I don't mean fire that you want. Like you have a charcoal grill, you have a charcoal fire. You want that fire. People on gas grills with propane grills have fires. In other words, the thing catches on fire, not burning your house up, but I mean grease inside your grill catch on fire and burn stuff up. Pretty soon your sausages are charcoal. Pretty soon your medium rare hamburger that somebody wants is now a hockey puck. Some of the causes for those fires is just plain old grease buildup that hadn't been cleaned out. Grease burns, grease catches on fire, especially if the heat gets right. A lot of these fires come from underneath the grates where you have propane touching built up grease. And then, boom, there you got your fire. You got to close the grill. You're kind of embarrassed, kind of looking around like, this is my first time to ever use this grill. And you're pointing at things to get people to not look at the fire you started. So you don't want to be in that situation. Scrape out the grill. Scrape the extra grease out. You don't need to scrub it down with some type of cleaner. Just get the excess off. Get you ready to roll. You might not have to mess with it the rest of the summer, but this is the perfect time to do it.
All right, so we're preventing the spiders and also preventing you from setting your grill ablaze right here in our conversation with Matt Heermans. Anything else? I mean, I'm getting ready. I'm ready to go stick something on the grill. Don't tell me there's something else we need to be watching out
Yeah,
for.
you got to make sure your propane tank is full if you're using gas grill. Charcoal's totally different thing. You just burn charcoal clearly, but aside from having the embarrassing fire that takes, Uncle Joe's hamburger and turns it into something nobody wants to eat, the other downside is running out of propane mid-cook. Okay, you're doing a steak, you're doing a burger, you're doing something, people are licking their chops, they're drooling all over the place, they're ready to roll. Propane tank goes out, you are out of luck. particularly if you live in, a place a little bit outside of town. Maybe you got a little, a lot of places with some property here in the South. So then you got to run to the store. Everything's cold. You're in a mess. So make sure that propane tank. And here's the thing about the propane tank: you might have left it. It might have been full when you shut that regulator off at the top. Whenever you went and put your grill away for the winter, but it's not totally airtight. That stuff can leak out over the months. So you don't want to be caught half full on the propane tank when you fire up Memorial Day weekend. Can't have that.
Can't have that, but what we can have is more of our Barbecue Barrister. We've got a whole nother segment coming up with him, and I'm actually going to have him again. Evidently, he can use this commercial break to come up with a little shopping list, because I want to know what the old fella is going to be cooking on Memorial Day. So we're going to go ahead and get the sneak peek from Matt Heermans when we come back. Also, there's going to be a virtual barbecue competition with some of the heavy hitters of barbecuing, and I'm going to relay that information, and I'm going to do that right after this as the Y'all Show continues. All right, if you're watching us here on the Y'all Show, feel free to give us a comment, or, as we said earlier, you can just call us, 803-816-1170. That's the way to reach out to us 24/7. And always, it doesn't matter what day it is, you can always send something in to our Barbecue Barrister if you'd like for him to comment on it. Maybe you've got a very special dish you're going to be serving up on dish. That's not a bad, that's a terrible term to use when it comes to barbecuing. You know what I'm talking about. If you want to brag on what you do, let the Barbecue Barrister know. Now, back into the Y'all Show. We appreciate everybody tuning in and enjoying the show. And we're back on the Y'all Show, final segment. John Rawl here as we wrap up another episode of the show that covers everything Southern. We have our Barbecue Barrister, Matt Heermans, on for this final segment. We're getting ready for Memorial Day 2020. We've already gone through in the previous segment. In case you missed it, you can rewind it and learn more about how you get your grill ready and other tips to get you ready for Memorial Day 2020. But now it's time to dig in and learn more about what our Barbecue Barrister has planned. I know he's kind of been thinking, oh, Memorial Day is a couple of weeks away. Well, sorry to break it to you, Barrister. It's coming up Monday, so you better be prepared. So with that in mind, we bring on Matt Heermans one more time here to wrap up today's Y'all Show. Okay, it may be a little bit premature, but go ahead and hit me good. What you going to be serving here Memorial Day weekend 2020? Because I know it's probably an all-weekend affair for you.
Well, I'll tell you what's on the menu, and it might surprise some people, but you had a fantastic guest on recently on this, and I was able to talk to him as well.
Well, what you talking about, Willis? I've had a lot of great guests on.
It was Matt.
Matt
and
Moore.
I'm Matt too. So it was the other Matt, or I would be the other Matt that day. He's a very impressive guy. He was talking, we got to talking about chicken. And normally, I'm a pork guy. I love the swine. I'm a heavy hog honcho is, I guess that's one way to put it. I love the pig. I love everything from the butt, the ribs, the belly. I like all of it. Like the tenderloin. I love the chops. Man, there's not a part of the pig I don't love. So, however, I'm going to change it up a little bit. When we talking to Matt Moore, we were tossing around chicken ideas, and he mentioned spatchcock.
Oh, yeah.
And if people who watch that show will remember what a spatchcock chicken is. And I think the first time I heard it years ago, I thought maybe it was a kind of a breed of chicken, a spatchcock. A cock is a rooster, but it's not. All it means is that you flip the chicken over before you cook it. You take some poultry shears, you cut the spinal cord out, pop that out, and you flatten the bird out so that the bird goes from kind of a...
Did you say flatten the curve?
No. I think we're supposed to do that. We're already done that, right?
So instead of flattening the curve, we're flattening the bird.
Flattening the bird, yeah, okay. Exactly.
All right.
So, take the spinal cord out, flay the bird out, put it over your charcoal or your smoker. I'm going to do that. He inspired me to get a spatchcock chicken going, which is a whole bird, like I say, prepared in that method. So I think that's what's on the menu. I've got a little plan for how I'm going to season it up and how I'm going to cook it. The key to any really, really good chicken, particularly smoked chicken or grilled chicken or really any kind of chicken, I think a lot of people agree is the skin.
Hmm.
I mean, chicken skin is one of those things that are just really good. Fried chicken, smoked chicken, rotisserie chicken. You want a good chicken skin. It's just one of those tasty things that you just got to have. So that's the key. If you have a rubbery kind of chewy chicken skin, it's, that's fine. The meat underneath might be great and it probably is good. But my goal is to get that nice, crispy, terrible, what we call bite through skin, which is kind of a buzzword around barbecue people.
Ooh,
But
I've never
that's
heard
what
that.
I'm going to do. I'm going to do a spatchcock chicken, and I'm going to do everything I can to get nice, crispy, rendered, bite-through chicken skin. The fantastic Matt Moore has inspired me, and so I'm going to do that.
Will there be ribs at all over this Memorial Day weekend?
I did ribs last weekend, and I
Oh,
did ribs the weekend before that. So I'm going to give my wife. My wife loves my ribs. They're very good, I must say. She enjoys them, but I'm going to give her a little break. It's a little bit of a challenge too, I will say. She likes rotisserie chicken or roasted chicken in the oven or chicken roasted in one of these kind of roaster pans that
hmm.
people have. She likes the texture of it. She likes the skin. She likes the way it cooks. She likes to be able to bite through that skin in the rotisserie. So I've taken a challenge upon myself. A lot of times, anybody who's smoked a chicken knows that just smoking a chicken does not get that skin the way you want it. So she has she said bad words about my smoked chicken in the past, and I know she likes rotisserie, and I know she likes that skin. So my aim is not totally altruistic. I want to show her that I can do a chicken on the smoker that has delicious skin that's even better than a rotisserie or a roasted chicken. So I've got inspiration. We'll put it that way. But yeah, that's kind of my plan. I want to show how good it can be.
We wish you all the best, and then for everybody else out there, this Memorial Day of 2020, good luck to you if you want to try a little spatchcock chicken. And by the way, we welcome you to go to y'all.com and find that interview from roughly 2 weeks ago. Matt Moore and Matt Heermans, along with me, we all had a conversation about his new book, Matt Moore's new book, and we mentioned the spatchcock chicken there. And you can learn more about that process at y'all.com. And as we wrap up with you, Barbecue Barrister, I also want to invite everybody to go to y'all.com, the ultimate guide to the South. And if you go there right now, you'll find a great article that is up called the 28th Annual Barbecue Festival. It's going virtual for the month of June. And this is going to have a kind of who's who of people participating in this virtual food and music festival. And Myron Mixon out of Georgia is going to be one of the contenders in here. You also have Tuffy Stone, isn't he from Virginia? Okay.
Absolutely.
And then is it Mo Cason? Does that sound familiar?
Okay. Big Mo Cason.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cason, okay. And all
He's out of
this,
Iowa. He's out of our region.
well, we hope he loses.
He knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be the 28th annual Giant National Capital Barbecue Battle. It's going to be virtual. And if you go to our website at y'all.com right now, you can learn a whole lot more about it. It sounds good. Hopefully, Matt Heermans, if you're not in this year's competition, you might be able to sneak your way into 2021, and we'll see what we can do to get you a good W.
Man, I'd love to do it. I've done a few competitions in my day. It's been a little while, but I'd love to get back in the game for sure.
Matt, we wish you and yours the happiest and best of Memorial Day weekends, and we look forward to talking to you again in June. Believe it or not, we'll be getting our summertime on for sure when we get back together again. Cheers, and thank you again for coming on the Y'all Show, sir.
Yes, sir. And I wish everybody out there happy Memorial Day. Enjoy that warm weather. And yeah, we'll get through this thing. And hopefully the summer is more fun than the spring. We'll just put it that way.
We can all hope for that. Matt Heermans, everybody. And that will conclude our Y'all Show today. Thank y'all for being a part of the fun. And we'll be right back here with another episode headed your way tomorrow. Until that time, y'all take care and go out there and watch out for spiders in your grill.